Hey guys, it's Jason Postel here at JP Capital Solutions. Today I'm going to go over the underwriting process, just how you can do it pretty simple, pretty quick. There's a lot of information sometimes that you lack from a seller, but if you can just get a couple items, um, being a rent roll, and two being if they have it a profit and loss statement, P&L, or trailing 12 months, which that's what this is last year's. I have a trailing 12 up through October on this other one, but that's really it. You know, some of these owners, you'll hear mom and pop, they're not going to have a lot of records, right? A lot of cash that's not being shown, and sometimes it makes it difficult to underwrite. But if you can just get a rent roll for all of the income and an idea on their expenses. If you learn what a ballpark figure is, every property is obviously very different, but in apartments, for example, which we're going to do today, there you can ballpark if you're trying to do something on the fly, come to something quick. A safe conservative number is usually 50% of an expense ratio, right? So if you think total income is 100,000, and you know that their rent, let's call it their rent. You can do it on your calculator, right? You can go, their rent's $1,000. They own 10 units. That's 10,000 a month. That's 120,000 a year, right? You can simply divide that by 50%. That's 60,000. The 60,000 is your net operating income. Some people say net ordinary income. That's your NOI. That's, if you can figure that out, you're going to be able to spit out evaluations on the fly. Simply by dividing that number by whatever the going cap rate is. So we'll dive into more of that deeper, but I'm going to use a tool today that you guys will have access to if you're an agent with me. Just go in the portal. You can go under the deal analyzing software. You can download the free tool here. There's a paid option as well if you want more brand and other items. But this free tool will give you everything you need to spit out an evaluation, a cap rate, just by basically plug and play, right? So here we go. I'm gonna dive in here again. The profit and loss statement, that's going to give you all the expenses. Someone sent me a deal. Let me see if I still have it up. I mean, they didn't account for anything. Let me just, I'll actually use that as an example to show you guys what I'm talking about. Someone wanted this deal analyzed for a loan, and let me, just a quick little side note here. Give me one sec. And so they plug in all the income, of course, right? Because they want to show all the income, but a lot of novice or not, this isn't common sense, right? Some of it is, but they left out pretty much all the expenses. So just for an example on that, let's see here. Okay, here it is. They sent me there was a couple duplexes. It was 4 units total, and on the first one, here it is. They put the purchase price, the after repair value. See, this is a flipper. Cash needed to get into the deal. How much is it cash flowing, right? The cap rate. Okay, an infinity cash on cash. That's probably a red flag. So real quick, this is almost starting to show you what, not to do. Nothing against them. They could be new in the space and they just, are trying to learn like a lot of people. So 0 vacancy. Okay, well, and it's occupied. But you always want to put, banks are going to use minimum of 5%. And it could be 100% full, but still the loan to cost, they're looking for 90%. Not to say that's not out there. There's people doing 90% loan to cost. The loan to value, 70, 75. Right now, things have tightened up a little bit to 65, but he's not way off there. But here's where it runs into problems. Okay. here's the income, right? Of course, he put the income in, and then he puts property taxes and insurance. I'm glad he at least had that, but there was nothing else. And yeah, there might not be HOA fees, but there's 100% going to be utilities. There's going to be landscaping. There's going to be other costs. And some people say, well, I manage the property. I'm the owner and I do the landscaping. Well, okay, if you're trying to sell this or again, put it in front of somebody else, that they're not going to be doing that. You have to include those on the pro forma and be realistic. So again, going back to an apartment, 50% expense ratio. Here's the cash flow analysis. So it really breaks it down. All these zero. Oh, he put a maintenance fee of 32. So he actually did even put stuff in there. But for 419, the expense ratio is like 9% or something. It's just 13. Okay, I apologize. But that is so light. I mean, I own home communities and where we own only the land. We have zero expense for the homes on the mobile home park. We have, I mean, I'm sorry, we have a 40% expense ratio, maybe 30, and that's strictly owning the land, right? Because we still have to take care of the yard. So I'm only saying that because that shows you that even when you own something that you literally are not fixing up the homes or the sinks or the toilets or the termite damage, any of that, there's still a 30 to 40% expense ratio. So this right here, automatically I know it's not even close. And he just underwrote it wrong. So anyway, little side note on what to pay attention to, because this property that I have here, it's underwritten well because I got all the information. See, this is all, and this is everything, the taxes, the repairs and maintenance every month. There's pest control, even office supplies. What's the management fee? There's a landscaping. So if you have all of this, you're going to have so much more easier of a time selling the property, purchasing a property, whatever you're doing. It's going to go a lot smoother because the numbers are going to be realistic, and because these will come out, guys. So there's no sense in wasting people's time, showing them crazy numbers when they'll eventually get it. So anyway, let's just go into here. Deal check. Again, if you're in the brokerage, just go to the software tool. If not, I'll still put a link in this video. You can snag this for free. Just download it. It's even on your app. It's pretty easy. But okay, so you're gonna go in here, the property description. Okay, you're gonna label it. What is this? Is this a multifamily, manufactured, commercial? This is a multifamily. Try to put as much information as you can. Some of these are it does tie in with the MLS. So if this was active, which it is actually, is one of my listings, you can pull it through the MLS. How many spaces? This is going to help add your little notes. Okay, and then we're going to go to the purchase worksheet. So here's where, if you want to show a loan interest only, an M schedule, 20% down, really things have tightened up, like I said, so you're not getting an 80 LTV right now anyway. Interest rates are still pretty good, 25-year term. Sometimes on commercial, though, they'll give you like a 10-year term on a 20 or 25-year AM. See, purchase cost 3%. So here's rental income. Let's see, there's the 5%. Even though this is 100% full. Well, actually, I'm sorry. One unit is vacant, but I'm still writing this with a 5% vacancy. Here's the gross per month. He is actually getting a little bit of laundry income, not a whole lot. I think for the year, monthly, it's $750. So here's the itemized expenses, guys. Okay, this is, again, the most important part. And sometimes it's not pretty, but guess what? That's going to tell you the evaluation. So utilities, this is per year, and you can change it here if you want to do per month. Okay, you can do as a percentage. I switched some of these. If it's a management fee, I think I did. I did a set amount because I had his numbers. Again, I had it right here. This was 2019. So here was the management fee. Where was this? Yeah, 16. Yeah, so 19, 20, right? So you can do the percentage. Sometimes it's anywhere from 5 to 10%. Professional fees, there's this pest control. Don't miss anything, guys. It can make a huge valuation. This isn't a single family where you're just looking across the street at the same similar house. This is all based on the cash flow, right? That's why the valuations can swing so much. This guy picked this up. It was vacant. It was a mess. It had termite. He tented this house here. There's another property. We don't need to really even get into all that, but he got it for almost nothing, but he filled it, renovated it, and now it's being sold on the cap rate as investors buy. So, and the more you underwrite, the more you'll get familiar with these, and you'll come up with kind of average scenarios where you see, oh, okay, management fee, I know that expense, insurance can be 1 to 2%. And you'll just start getting to where if you don't get the books and records, meaning the seller doesn't give you true income and expenses or has it. I've gotten stuff on the back of the napkins before. It's been insane. Well, then you can still give it a conservative figure. And so if you show a prospective buyer, investor, or you're looking yourself to buy, you will know, and you won't get left purchasing something and be like, oh my God, the utilities were this, or he's paying all the utilities. I can separate meter this and bill those backs, right? That's called RUBS, ratio utility billing system, or resident utility billing system. There's some different names. So anyway, really, that's the main piece here. I have other financial calculators. So let's just look at this. Let's just go through this, and I'll go to that in a minute. So here's the gross rents. Okay, and I put a 3% annual increase, as you can see, appreciation, right? And then and here's where a lot of people make mistakes as well. They always do the income. Oh, I'm sorry, I did 2% on this one. But guess what? They forget to do. Inflation happens, and you know what? They leave that blank. So then they're just giving this insane pro forma with a 3 to 5% annual increase in income and a 0 increase in expenses. So when they're paying that's why, guys, if you're buying property, be aware of brokers that, I'm not saying they're purposely doing that either. Sometimes it's just, you don't know what you don't know, and you don't even think of it. So be aware, just make everything in line. Just pretend like, hey, you were buying this, and just keep looking at these. And you'll get familiar with it. So there you see that the expenses are rising as well. So the income's still rising. It's still good. And look, that 50%, this was underwritten really well. So I'm close. I'm not saying everyone. You might have someone running it really lean and mean, and have a 40% or under. Again, I have mobile home communities. We run like a 33% expense ratio. But again, we don't own any of the homes. We own the land. There's some maintenance that still comes along with those. We pay managers, we pay on-site guys, we pay trash, we pay, yard landscaping. We have signs. We have other capital expenditures we use. So anyway, but that's something. If you see like, oh, hey, they wrote this with a 46%. That's it's going to be realistic. Okay. Now the loan payment, here's where some people get a little confused, right? Because your net operating income is write this down. Okay. Your net operating NOI. Someone will say, well, what's the NOI? Okay. Well, it's all of the gross income, right? The operating income minus all of the expenses, okay? Which equals the NOI, okay? So all of the operating income, as you see up here, right? 177. And then here's the expense. You subtract that. There's the 46. So your net is 94. That is before the loan payment. The loan payments, the debt service, the mortgage, the loan, there's a few names that comes after. Okay. So the NOI, because some people do a cash transaction, right? So there is no loan. So if you're combining those, it doesn't make sense, because some people are like, oh, well, I'm paying cash, right? Putting a loan in there, right? So you always, there's no exception ever that there's ever going to be a loan payment in this net operating. It's just not. So that's what you need to know, 100%. Once you have the NOI, again, you figure out the cap rate. So you could say, or the evaluation. You might not know the price yet, and you're trying to figure that out. Well, if you get the NOI, right, the net operating income, and you know it's 94,438, and you know that the cap rate around town or around in that market is an 8 cap, right? You divide that net operating income by 0.08. That's the 8 cap. And if you do it right now on your calculator, do 94,438 divided by 0.08, boom, it spits out a 1.18475. So 1,180,475. That's an on the fly evaluation. Okay. And look up here in the corner, 1.2 is where I had this at. Just see the numbers, and there it is. It's a 7.9 cap. So that's how you get that evaluation. Then the loan payment, if there is one, you get a we plugged in a 35% down, 4% interest rate. So the cash flow after debt service is 32,000. Okay. Then this has another little line item, post-tax, right? And look, it shows you even right here, post-tax is cash flow times income tax rate, right? So this is just, that's not a huge, that's usually not in a lot of packages, to be honest, but that's good to know, right? I mean, because some people don't realize, oh, hey, he bought this for 500,000. I'm buying it for 1.5. The taxes are going to get reassessed. And that's why you need to have the taxes inflate, right? Which right here, that was a good call. This needs to be reassessed for pro forma. And I do have that in a package. I actually take it one more step here. I'm going to finish this, but I'm just going to show you that brought up a good point. I actually know one of my investors. I don't want to call him novice, but he didn't account for a reassessment in taxes, and he got hit real heavy. He got hit pretty heavy with a tax bill for a reassessment. So I'm going to show you that here in a second. I'm not going to spend. I want to finish this, and I'll bring up the package to show you what I'm talking about. So the cash flow, that's what's going to determine what you hear cash on cash return, right? So your cap rate is going to be the NOI divided by the purchase price, or the cap rate. The net operating income divided by the purchase price will give you the cap rate, or inverse, the net operating income divided by whatever the cap rate is will give you the evaluation, vice versa, right? So cash on cash, if you hear like, well, what's cash on cash return? That is after the loan payment. So after, it's the cash you will have in hand. And then, yeah, I mean, this might throw some people off, but no, it's the cash, because the tax, they still write it off, investors, and they'll write off enough where they can end up with this anyway. So you'll divide this by the amount that you put into the deal. Okay, so let's just real quick, and this shows it too. I'm going to spit out the sheet here, and I'll show you. But if you put 35% down on 1.2, that's 420,000. 420,000. If you divide 32,000, that's the net cash, by your down payment, right? 420,000. That's going to give you a 7.6% cash on cash return. And oftentimes that's more than what the cap rate is. I did a 30. I changed the the loan in here, right, to a little bit lower LTV. Where was it? Right here, right? So if I think I had a 25, if you can get some good leverage and even a 25, right, that's going to change the cash on cash, right? That's going to, you'll see now the net income goes up a little bit, and then you'll see the cash on cash metric. So right here, now it's a 10% cash on cash, right? You see your 7.9 cap rate. All right. Equity in the deal, 350. So if you guys, if you have your calculator on you and you look at that, here, let me spit out the report so you guys can see the final product here. Let's see, share report, reports and sharing. Okay, let's view it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Pop-up blocked. Oh my God. Come on. There we go. All right, there it is. Cash on cash. There's your cap rate. This spits out everything, your monthly cash flow. Has your report, shoots it out on a map so you can see the location. Here was the breakdown on the rent roll per week. Oh, that was one thing I didn't really show on the rent roll. See, he lets them pay weekly. All right, so I plugged in the weekly rents, and that gave the true income. Okay, there's the total cash needed down, right? That was all you had in the deal. And the net cash flow, right, after loan payments was 35,930. If you're doing this on your calculator, I'll show you the cash on cash, because here's the 35 divided by your initial down payment. So if you go 35,930 divided by 336, that's a 10.6. That's where you get the cash on cash return. Okay. And again, the cap rate is divided by the net operating income, which you know now is right here, 94. And if you divide that by 1.2, the purchase price, okay, go to 94,000 divided by 1.2 million, get a 7.9%, right? And that's how you get your evaluation, guys. So then if you get familiar with this, you can start sounding like you know what you're doing and be confident in meetings, and you're going to get a lot of assignments this way just by standing out and putting together a report like this. You know, I was going to show you real quick here. Just my listings. Oh, let's go here real quick. So going back to the tax real quick, just so I can show you guys what I was talking about. This is what I take this another step, guys. This is just a free report. That's great. I've used these in meetings, honestly. But I take it another further because the competition out there, guys, is pretty serious. So the cleaner you can make things, the better, right? So here's what we just underwrote, right? Those two blue buildings. But here's what I just want to show you on the tax. Okay, put the comparables in there. This is an expensive software, so if you guys aren't there yet, don't worry about it. The Deal Check is an amazing tool to at least get a feel for underwriting. So right here, here's the taxes. This is what a lot of people, brokers, even owners, investors forget. Real estate taxes. This is his current trailing 12, or well, I'm sorry, current, it was 2019, 10,900. Okay. A reassessed tax going in after the next year, after you purchase at 1.2 or 1.3, whatever it was purchased at when he got it for whatever his last figure was, it's going to get reassessed. That's another $9,000, guys, that a lot of people don't account for. They forget. And that's a huge, I mean, if you're slim, going in, 9,000 is huge. That's a huge difference. So make sure, see, and look, I implemented RUBS. Here's the ratio utility billing system. He's not doing that. Well, I knew out of the 20,000, you know, we could get a lot of that back. You know, the 20,000. We're still going to have, you know, some water and utility bills as you know, just being the landlord, right? You're going to have your own personal bills going through there. You're not going to be able to pass through everything. So it's just, if you make it realistic, again, you're gonna have an easier time selling it, understanding it. And here's another on the pro forma. I did a much lower down payment, but you know, here's the cap rate. Here's the cash on cash. So that's it, guys. And this takes it for a 5-year and 10-year sensitivity map. You know, but I didn't want to get into that package too much. I just wanted to show you more or less the tax. This still has comparables, guys. It has, you know, it has everything you need to just go to a meeting, or just more importantly, understand it for yourself. And if you're not a broker and you're just an investor, how to buy deals, you know, and what to look for so you don't get burned. So hope that was beneficial. You know, email me with any questions you have, info@jpcapitalsolutions.com. Happy to walk you guys through it. You know, and underwrite deals. It takes a little while, but once you get the gist, it's pretty seamless. So again, hope that helped. Hope that was beneficial. And here if you guys need me. Thank you.